Hawaii, a stunning group of islands known the world over for their natural beauty and unique culture. As with many other places in the world, these quaint, slow-paced islands have been invaded by a fast-paced modern society with all the normal conveniences and lifestyle choices. Once completely self-sustaining, Hawaii now ships in over 85% of its food supply. In the midst of this trend, a growing number of local residents are seeking a more authentic and slow-paced lifestyle, much like their ancestors before them. Dean and Michele Wilhelm are one of these families that has decided to take bold steps to reconnect to tradition and follow their own path. The Wilhelms sold their house in the suburbs to purchase 7.5 acres of land covered in brush and thick trees.
This place was just a hidden jewel in the middle of a neighborhood that nobody knew it was back here. This was exactly what we were looking for and well beyond that. It was almost like a dream come true before we could even see the dream.
Since those early days in 2007, and with the incredible support of community groups, individual volunteers, friends, and family, they've been able to clear the land to reclaim what was once a working lo'i kalo, or taro farm.
We're just simply restoring the growth of Kalo back here on this land. I think the second reason why we're growing is the cultural significance of Kalo. I mean, Kalo was the staple. It was the main food of the Hawaiian people. It was what sustained our people.
For Dean and Michele, Kapalai Farms and Hookuaaina, their non-profit organization, are at the center of a dream to connect people to the land and make a difference in their community.
Ho'o needs to become ku'aina. The Hawaiian were the people of old who were really those who lived often in the backlands, who were the foundation, the backbone of the society. They were the Kalo farmers. They were the mahi'ai. Many in our generation desire to become ku'aina. I think everybody, no matter Hawaiian or non, we're all connected and tied to the land.
Whether in the lo'i or in their garden, it's this connection to the land and the passing on of cultural traditions and values that makes Kapalai Farms and Hookuaaina a precious community resource. It's a place where people gather to work and learn together to build the types of relationships and spirit that shapes a community. It's a place to learn where the land teaches us not only about farming and culture, but about science, health, ecology, diet, and more. It's a place to be inspired for people from all walks of life, where lives get changed and where people are transformed. At-risk youth, families, kupuna, everyone who comes.
You know, this is really about community and getting connected to the land and each other. So many people have come here and given of themselves. Each one of them has become a part of our ohana, a part of this place.
One of the people instrumental in the restoration of the property and as a mentor to Dean has been Uncle Earl Kava'a. Born and raised as a ku'aina in Halawa Valley on the island of Molokai, Uncle Earl is a respected and revered kupuna in the Hawaiian community.
This is where it begins. It begins in a taro patch. From where I stand as an older person, it's the beginning to going back and learning ancestral roots, ancestral ways. But we want our children and our mothers and our fathers to be both in this day and time, to be a ku'aina, to be able to live comfortably in both worlds. This is where the learning comes. Just as the children were planting grass this morning, today, they start on the bank. We don't push them in a taro patch yet. Start them on the bank. Get them to come. And then later on, they'll go into the taro patch. Working in a taro patch, it's about rebuilding. It's about rebuilding from the ground up.
Rebuilding and reconnecting, whether individually or in groups, is what takes place when people get in the lo'i. A great example is a group of junior high and high schoolers from Kalihi, many of whom were raised in the low-income housing projects in the valley.
We've been bringing students from Farrington and Kalihi to the Wilhelm's property for the past couple years, just connecting students, especially all our Polynesian kids, with their roots. A lot of them have eaten taro or they've eaten poi, but they have no idea where it comes from. And a lot of our students have never left a couple-mile radius of the housing where they grew up. So for them to be able to go work in a lo'i and even go on the other side of the island and be able to experience waist deep in mud and what it means to clear land and plant. Kalo is just such an incredible experience, as well as just in connecting with people that really care and love them, and connecting their roots and their culture. For all our students, it's been a huge impact in many, many ways.
It's like I'm one with nature. Feels awesome.
I've spent most of my career in the DOE working with at-risk youth. And when I see them connect with what we're doing here, and it somehow adds value and purpose to their lives, it makes it all worthwhile.
The farm not only gives people a way to connect to the land and their culture, it provides the Wilhelms a platform to teach on a number of important topics, such as sustainability, food security, and making healthy lifestyle choices. Dean and Michele are both excellent communicators, and with over 10 years as a teacher in the DOE system, Dean can easily adapt each session to the audience of the moment. Chosen as the Hawaii delegates to the 2012 Slow Foods Convention in Italy, one of the Wilhelm's goals is to share the value of healthy, homegrown food within their own community.
A big part of our programs, we want to teach about nutrition and just offering some good, tasty, healthy things that they know were grown right here in their backyard, where the kids and the families say, wow, why don't we have this in our refrigerator, and why aren't we preparing this for dinner? It has to be the lifestyle. It has to be that we're eating these foods that were grown by us, not that we bought in the grocery store. Max is a great example. He's 4 years old, and one of his favorite foods is kale. He'll come down in the garden and he'll just pick the leaves off and eat them and tell everybody how much he loves it.
Ultimately, a healthy community is about having healthy families. One of the Wilhelm's primary goals is to use the farm to gather, inspire, and educate other families.
Kalo does represent family. When families in the old days would grow kalo, it's not a crop that you grow and can cultivate and care for easily by oneself. It's a communal effort. And families are coming here and being a part of the cultivation, the caring, and the growing of the kalo. And then also in the preparation of the kalo, it's generally done in a communal way.
Ku'iai, the pounding of the plant's roots, is considered a sacred activity that goes back centuries and is centered around family. Using a stone and pounding on a wooden board, it's the connection to the land, each other, and tradition that makes this time special.
From this plant, we get the word ohana, which is family. The ohana is the offshoot from the makua, or the parent plant, yeah? So then this is how the ohana is reenacted again as they come together to make food for the week. So if you notice the position, everyone's facing each other, and then that's where positive conversations and where people catch up. So to have a day like this is beautiful because we're putting time aside to do this ancient practice.
Kapalai farms and Hookuaaina are a kipuka, an oasis in the middle of a modern society. As Hawaii moves into the future, these places become vital to the health and well-being of our islands and people.
Well, when you drive up through these residential homes and then you peer into the lo'i over here, I think it's easy to say, well, I'm staring into the past. But to me, the way I see it is just, this is a look into the future of what the future of Hawaii needs to be. And that is people connected to their land, people connected to each other. You see all these families working together over here. That's why I brought my kids today, because I feel like for them to have hope, not just here in Kailua, here in Hawaii, I want them to learn from the land. I want them to learn from the kupuna over here. And I just feel like that's how we're going to ensure that there's going to be a place and a people that means something for them in Hawaii going forward.
For Dean and Michele, bringing back traditions, living a healthy lifestyle, and inspiring others is at the very core of who they are.
I think our hope is for this place to become a thriving farm where there's where a lot is produced, where there's an abundance and a richness. And when the task is done and completed and all the hard work and effort goes into whatever the task may be for the day, when we can step back and look and reflect on the work that was done and all that was accomplished, I think it's meaningful and it's moving. It's deeply spiritual, if you ask me. for many, many people who come here. That's our desire, is to just make it a place where more and more people can come and experience that feeling.
But it's about the past coming into the present and then passing on to the future. And it's about restoration, and it's more than just restoring the soil to grow kalo. It's about restoring the community and what the culture is about. When I see Dean sitting there with Max on the other side of the board, so Max has his own stone, and Dean, the dad, is sitting across. So it's an awesome opportunity, not just for relational building in the community, but for family building and for the training and the passing on of these traditions. When I looked around the other night, and there are several fathers or mothers training. This is the joy of what we're doing. Seeing these families grow strong together, passing on meaningful values from one generation to the next. It's the rebuilding of lives, which leads to a healthy community. This is the future.